Welcome back to another episode of Sticky Infusion Experiment. Today we're going to be trying to infuse a homemade French onion dip. I'm going to be using some of that infused mayonnaise you guys see me make on the last video. So let's get started and see how it works. Alright, so for this recipe, it's going to require mayonnaise. You guys see me make the super infused mayonnaise, so I used a half a cup of that with regular mayonnaise. You can tell it's slightly infused. It's called for a white onion. I did a red onion. I prefer the red over the white flavor. Green onion, a cup of sour cream. Then we got 1/4 cup of infused salt, or 1/4 teaspoon of infused salt, excuse me, and 1/2 teaspoon of infused salt and regular salt. We have white pepper and garlic powder. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do to get this recipe started is we need to caramelize the onions. So we'll get doing that right now, and that's going to be with 2 tablespoons of infused olive oil, as well as the 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So let's get to it. Alright, we went in and got the onions caramelized. They're ready to go. We do want to let these sit and cool down for about 10 to 15 minutes. You do not want to throw them in this while they're warm. It will break down the mayonnaise and sour cream. So we're going to let that sit a little bit and kind of cool off, about 10-15 minutes. But until then, we're going to go ahead and make the rest of our dipping sauce, or the rest of our dip. So we're going to use the 1 cup of infused mayonnaise. All right. Once we have the mayonnaise in, we're going to add the sour cream. Then we're going to go ahead and add in the garlic powder, the white pepper, and the infused salt and regular salt. ½ teaspoon. You can get this mixed up. Add a little bit of the green onion. I'm going to save a little bit for a topping when we're done. So let's get that mixed up. You want to do this while you're waiting for the onions to cool down, simply so that all those seasonings, the salt and the cream, everything can kind of come together, the sour cream, the onion, and those flavors start to marinate together. Alright, so we're going to give it about another 10 minutes or so. This is still kind of pretty warm, so I don't want to, again, we don't want to put this in here while it's warm because it will break down our dip. So we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so we've given it about 10-15 minutes or so, and I'm impatient, so I even put it in the fridge to help cool it down just a little bit faster. We just want it back to room temperature. We're not trying to chill it or anything. So we've already got our sauce made. We're just going to go ahead and add in our onion. Caramelized and infused olive oil, by the way, just a reminder. We're going to just mix this all up in here. And let's just taste test to make sure. Son of a gun. It's got a little twang to it. That's nice. You know, but I've kind of drowned out that flavor of the sticky. So, we're just going to add some of Sticky's powder in here. Sticky's powder isn't anything special. It is basically the flour that I extracted from. Once I was completely done extracting, I re-dried it out. Once it became completely dry, I put it in a mortar and pestle and then I just ground it down into a powder. So we'll add some of that in here. That should bring back a little bit of that sticky plant flavor. I'm going to top it all off. A little bit more green onion on top. And there you go. We have Sticky's infused French onion dip. We'll put this in the fridge for about an hour and let it rest so everything can marinate together and bring all those flavors together. But from my taste, it's already perfect and it tastes delicious. All right, so there we have it. Another successful Sticky infusion. Sticky infused French onion dip. This can be taken in moderation. You could elevate it by adding more. You could lower that elevation level of it. It's completely up to you. Be responsible. And until next time, stay sticky, my friends.